Good evening. The regular meeting for Burgeo Town Council was held on January 26th, beginning at 7:30 p.m. The following agenda items were discussed. Water treatment. Owing to the power outage on January 25th, the town had to go on bypass. So if your water is discolored or if you find that you have less pressure, less force, then that is the reason. Weather permitting, staff will be working on switching back to the water treatment plant starting on Monday. Now, the speed to this process will be determined by factors like the temperature, the amount of water being run, and the operation of the equipment. So allow for a few days for the water to change color and for you to experience an increase in pressure. There is no water boil order in effect. Water consumption. We continue to struggle with the number of gallons per minute being run per household. We are still at the 630 gallon per minute range, which is way over what it should be for a town our size. Summertime, for example, we consume around 130 gallons per minute. So we're up about 5 times, 4 times, 5 times more than that. Earlier in January, we were over 750 gallons per minute, and it was an extremely slow process to be able to refill the tank. And at times such as these, we are concerned that we may not have the capacity to refill the tank. If your equipment is set to produce 750 gallons per minute and houses are running 750 gallons a minute, then there's none left to fill the tank. So even down to 630 gallons per minute, you only have a little over 100 gallons that are actually going into overflow in the tank. And the tank is 500,000 gallons. So if you look at that mathematically, you can understand that it would take quite a long time. I have already outlined in several messages the potential consequences of not being able to consume less water, so I won't go into those this evening. Our inability to be able to maintain adequate water usage has led Council to discuss where we might go from here. One of the options that has been discussed around Council table is the use of residential meters. This is something new for us, so further discussion is pending. This is a preliminary thought that will be open to close scrutiny and further discussion with engineers to determine the viability and suitability of such a plan. Another option that was talked about is to have our water lines inspected. In other words, workers listening to where water flows are occurring. Again, we have to look at the type of equipment that the town would have to purchase in order to do this, and the amount of time consumed by staff, and so on. So we have to look at these options as well as the advantages and disadvantages to each. The town manager and I met with Anderson Engineering on the main water line project. Survey work has been completed, and the company is currently working on a tender, hopefully to be ready to go for our spring work. The Fire Department assessment report for the Burgeo Fire Department was presented to Council. The report will now go to the Fire Department for discussion and planning. The town truck for salting and sanding has experienced some mechanical difficulties, so it was sent to Corner Brook for repairs, but is now back in service. The SEEP project ended this past week. Most of the work completed under that program was interior work, such as painting and cleaning, owing to weather conditions not being conducive to working outside. Town emergency plan. The town currently has an emergency plan that was completed several years ago. Since it has not had a tabletop review in recent years, it has been recommended that all partnering organizations come together to do a review and organize a tabletop exercise. Warming Center. The loss of power on 2 occasions in January and the situation that has arisen in Moncton has raised the question as to whether the town should have a warming center for residents who have no alternate source of heat when the power is off, especially during times of cold temperatures and for times when the power is off for very long. The last outage, for example, was 18 hours. The Deputy Mayor will explore our options and report back to Council. Satellite phone system. Our MHA has been asked to budget some funds to accommodate the town's request to put a Labrador highway model into effect for Route 480. And the Labrador highway model means that there are satellite phones provided for visitors or travelers on one end of Route 480, so that when you arrive at the other end, you can turn them in. But you have an emergency phone with you for your traveling time. And the phone, of course, is used for emergencies only. Strategic Planning Day for Tourism. A proposal will go forward within a few days to proceed with the planning. The planning was outlined and advertised on Channel 10. We have 3 towns interested, with 6 coming from Ramia, 2 representatives from Francois, and 26 from Burgeo, and that 26 includes high school students who are involved in Enterprise Ed and career education courses at Burgeo Academy, as well as their teacher. Health Committee. One of the doctors returned to Burgeo to view some potential housing units. A preference has been indicated, and negotiations for procuring the unit is ongoing. A proposal is being written to look for more money in recreation for the town under a community healthy living fund. This fund is different from the others that we have applied for and requires no additional funding from the community. Aquaculture. Meetings have been held between bankers and government to move forward with a farming initiative in the Burgeo area. Further meetings are scheduled for March. At that time, the town will be looking for a presentation to be done in Burgeo. A government letter of approval has been given to the town to proceed with our 2017 budget. Council approved the attendance of one of our outside working staff to attend a clean and safe drinking water workshop in Gander on March the 28th to the 30th. Council also approved the attendance of one of our office staff to attend the Provincial Administrators Annual Convention in Gander, April the 5th to the 7th. Council approved the attendance of councillors to attend our Western Regional Meeting for Municipalities Newfoundland Labrador in Deer Lake, February 24th and 25th. Council approved a request from Dr. Kelly Vodden of Sir Wilfrid Grenfell College to support a graduate student doing research in Burgeo to study the evolution or the experiences of our water system. Now this If you remember, we had a graduate student, Brandon Ward, down a couple of years ago to do research on conservation, National Marine Conservation Area. These types of studies are done more for academic purposes. In other words, in order to qualify for a specific degree. However, the town does get any information that's written back. For example, he presented, Brandon, when he finished his thesis, presented it to the public and to council, and gave council an executive summary. And that information is very helpful for us when we're making decisions. It provides us with some important information. And this one basically will do the same. It will be a student who will be complying in order to get a master's degree in environmental studies. And any information that's gathered will be, again, provided to the town. Council made a motion to pay invoices for $8,227.47. The meeting adjourned at 10 p.m. and the next meeting is scheduled for February the 15th. Anyone and everyone is welcome to attend. Thank you and good evening.